Hello Food Network, this is Dina Martin coming to you from my cake store in Milton, and I welcome you. We're very excited at the prospect of being on Cupcake Wars, and I know you asked me to state my age, and I'm going to say I'm 29, and I have been for 14 years, so to do the math, I'm 43. Anyway, we have my husband and I have been in the cake baking, bread baking, and catering business for 15 years, and about 3 years ago decided to open this store called Cakes. Now if you notice in front of the logo, it's not just cakes, it's ... cakes. And everybody asks what the dots mean. Well, when my husband and I were dating, my nickname was Cakes, but depending on my mood, my husband would change the prefix. So sometimes I was sweet cakes, sometimes love cakes, other times I was crab cakes or clam cakes. So when we decided to open a store, it had to be cakes and the dots had to be there because that's where the inspiration came from. So when my husband and I got married, shortly thereafter, I stopped being Cakes and I became Mama. My husband and I have got 4 children. And of course, when we decided to open Cakes, one of the key points for me was that it had to be kid-friendly. We live in Milton, Massachusetts, which is a huge family town. There are kids everywhere and activities to no end for kids to participate in. So when we opened the store, we made sure that we have an area for kids and an area for adults. Now, when you ask me how kids relate to cupcakes, I think that's a pretty natural combination. In Boston, actually this appeared in our Boston Globe yesterday, are cupcakes a fad? As far as we're concerned, they may be, they may not be. But I'll tell you to whom they'll never be a fad, and those are to kids. Because let's be honest, who brings their parents into the store but their kids? So, that being said, we'd like to introduce you to our cupcake decorating public, our kids, and you can watch them decorate some cupcakes specifically for Cupcake Wars. Hey Food Network, it is my pleasure to introduce my esteemed pastry chef, Laurie Davidson. Now Laurie and I have this ongoing debate in our bakery about whether or not savory has any business in a cupcake. So today Laurie's going to state her case for why she believes savory cupcakes are good. And while she does that, she's going to introduce 2 options to our guests and see which actually wins out. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Laurie, and Laurie's going to state her case. This is our own little private cupcake war.
Well, it's not private anymore.
That's right. That's
Used to be private. Food Network, I've been in the business now for 17 years, and you see an awful lot of stuff. And sweet's good, but what's your sense of adventure? So we've got a little challenge today for our customers here. We created a sun-dried tomato basil pesto cupcake with a ricotta icing, which is fantastic. And we're going to put it up against a plain old banana split cupcake. So again, we've got sun-dried tomato basil pesto.
Well, let's answer the question now, why do we want to be on Cupcake Wars? Well, part of the reason is we want to settle this debate about whether savory will win out over sweet. We know that Cupcake Wars will challenge us to use lots of ingredients, and we intend to try them both and stretch the realms of our capabilities in cupcake making. But in addition to that, let's face it, we're growing fast, and we will not be satisfied until we've met every available challenge. And let's also admit that Cupcake Wars is the biggest challenge out there for cupcake bakers. Where our aim is to become the premier cupcake bakery in Massachusetts, and we want to own the suburbs and always remember that cupcakes bring out the kid in all of us.
No, they're all gone.
I lost!
All right, Cupcake Wars, now we're ready for you. The question is, are you ready for us?